Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
What's going on? How you guys all doing? Once again, we're back up here for another review. This is the Club of the Man 1993. We're back here for my review of SmackDown, the September 22nd, my birthday, 2023 edition, which, yes, as you can tell by the name, the Club of the Man 1993, I am in fact 30 years old now. Still getting used to saying that. I'm 30. Big 3-0. This episode took place in Glendale, Arizona, as we are now 2 weeks from Fastlane, I believe it is. 2 weeks. Still no matches officially announced. Well, kind of one was made official, except now we don't know who John Cena's tag partner is going to be. So, of course, we'll have to wait and see what happens in the next couple weeks. Overall, this was a good episode of SmackDown. I can't really complain about what we saw. Again, I continue to just look at the stuff, though, that's going on with Jimmy Uso, and I just continue to say, like, this, as I said in my last, in the last SmackDown review, and I should make a video on this, I keep saying this, like, this is something that should be working, but I just continue to say it, they're overcomplicating it. This week, though, wasn't really so much, but just what set up thinking, well, you know, are you really going to have... Is the Bloodline really going to be John Cena and whoever his tag partner is going to be, especially if it is, in fact, LA Knight for the rumors, which, by the way, LA Knight was supposed to be on this show. He was supposed to save John Cena at the end of the show, but he did because LA Knight tested positive for you know what. So that's why he wasn't on the show. But apparently, that's who the rumored tag partner is supposed to be. Now, of course, there's other rumors speculate, too, as to who else the partner should be. But apparently, it's supposed to be LA Knight. But, of course, it did happen tonight because he's sick right now. And I do hope that he gets better soon. And we hope we see him back on SmackDown very, very soon. For sure. But, yeah, everything else is pretty good. I like the story development we got with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Which I'm about to say, the Street Profits heel turn, even though I did the turn alert for them the other week, it feels like they're doing what they're doing with them, like what they did with Bayley when she first turned heel in 2019, which we'll get to that in a little bit as well. And, yeah, everything was, top to bottom, I thought was good. It was worthwhile in this show, I thought. Oh, and of course, we had the Dream Match, which should have been the main event, but it wasn't. The Dream Match with Io Sky and Asuka. There's no way they're not doing a rematch between those two. They gotta do a rematch, especially with how the match ended. But it was still good. I think they did hold. All people did say they did hold back a little bit, but we'll see what happens further down the line. As I do hope for sure that they do another match. Anyways, though, the show kicked off with John Cena, who came off his recent Grayson Waller Fest segment, and but he came back and said is back in Phoenix with vengeance on his mind. Not without playing with the crowd first, while explaining everything he's done since coming back to live television. He's done reffing, he's done hosting, he's here for competition. And he wants that tonight. Peacemaker wants peace and feels this is the only way it happens. Rather than do it solo or dolo, he got himself a phenomenal partner to handle the bloodline, which is AJ Styles, who comes out and agrees to be his partner, which then brings out Solo and Jimmy, but they then back off and say they don't want to fight now. So Cena wanted to fight tonight, which later on in the show they agreed to a match, but they wanted to be a Fastlane. So to end the show, they'll do a contract signing. We'll get to that a little bit later. We then had Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar of the LWO, which, by the way, next week we are getting the match with Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar for the U.S. title, which should be good. Taking on the Street Profits, which is good. It was a good match. The most noteworthy thing that happened, though, was during the match, while the referee was distracted, Bobby Lashley takes Rey Mysterio and plants him with a slam on the ring apron. And Angelo Dawkins hesitates to capitalize. And because of him hesitating, LWO win because Rey Mysterio then rolls up Angelo Dawkins to get the win. And of course, Bobby Lashley's disgusted, starts flipping out on them. And afterwards, Bobby says if you can't pull the trigger, then they can go back to catering and he'll find cats who can do it. If they can't do it, then he wants everything back, including the suits. Which, again, I keep I did officially do the turn alert last week for the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. Bobby's purely a heel, no doubt about it. The Street Profits technically are too. But it feels like they're still resisting to fully go heel. It feels like that they're... It feels like what happened with Bayley. Like I said earlier, it feels like what happened with Bayley in 2019. She turned heel, but kept everything the same. I mean, the Street Profits haven't, but they were still like developing to being heels. And it took Bayley, who kept like the same look for a few weeks, to have like a meltdown after a match and everybody's booing her, for her then to, change the look, cut the hair, take out the Bayley buddies. Like, it's like, they're heels. But they're still shedding off, like, the old selves they were, basically. So I like that. I do like that. I think that is interesting. An interesting approach. Also, Austin Theory was not happy about what The Rock did to them last week, and he said the only reason why that Rock video got all the views was because of him. Then we also got a random video package for Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, saying that they're the reason the women's tag titles are cursed. Yeah, it's been a while since I think the last time we saw them was when they wrestled Ronda and Shayna for the merger of the women's tag titles. I think it's the last time we saw them. Adam Pearce then berates Austin Theory for obvious reasons backstage. The Brawlin Brutes come up to have a laugh at Austin's expense, only for Grayson Waller to come to Austin's side. Sets up for a tag match later on in the show. And then we get, by far the best thing of the night, the women's title match with Asuka and Io Sky, which was awesome. Like I said, it obviously was they were holding back. They definitely could have an even better match than they had, but this was still really darn good. The great chain wrestling counters and chemistry was all there off the charts. It was an overall great match. Towards the end of the match, Asuka was getting Io to pass out, which she basically did. But when the referee could see it in her view, but Bayley put Io's foot on the rope, causing a break, which then brought out Charlotte, why she played babyface hero, which I don't get that whatsoever. She took out Bayley. which set up for a match with Charlotte and Bayley for next week, by the way. And because of that, though, Io was able to hit the moonsault, or over the moonsault, and she retained the title. So, great match. Good finish. A good idea with the finish. It set up a rematch. Definitely for sure. And like I said, put them on pay-per-view. Like, maybe I would like to see it happen at Fastlane. I don't think it will, even though I predicted it in my car predictions, which I haven't checked for a few days. Was close to 1,000 views. Hopefully it got there. Thank you guys, of course, for the views on my Fastlane match card. But I think they may wait till maybe Crown Jewel. That's where I do it. I think it would be a great match, 1-on-1. Don't throw Charlotte in there. Seriously, Charlotte does not need to be thrown in there. Just do it 1-on-1. That's all we need. Anyways. We then have the Brawlin Brutes taking on Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Solid match. Heels get the win. Like I said, I predicted that since the other week, I'm thinking this could be setting up for a match with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller versus, again, maybe The Rock and John Cena at Survivor Series, which I think would be excellent. Austin Theory does have a history with John Cena, and it has set up some beef with Austin Theory and The Rock. And again, Survivor Series has significant meaning because, again, I think that's where The Rock debuted. So, I'd do that there. So, I might be getting them ready to get the momentum to go into that match, which would be good. So, then we get to the contract signing. John Cena makes his way out to the ring. And he signs the contract. And then AJ Styles' music hits. But he's not coming out. Cuts backstage. Jimmy Uso's taking him out. Throws him over the road cases. Solo Sikoa jumps from at least a good 15-20 feet on top of the production equipment and knocks AJ out cold, which was a vicious spot for sure. So much so that AJ was getting wheeled out in an ambulance with the OC by his side. It looks like Carl Anderson and Mia Yim were coming into the hospital while Cena's distraught. And then Carl tells John, he's like, John, I told him not to get involved with the bloodline. And then the bloodline then got to the ring to a chorus of boos. Well, they had no music. Paul Heyman says, you can boo all you want, but it doesn't change the fact that John signed the contract, but he has no partner. Jimmy takes the mic from Heyman and talks trash, which Jimmy's all super, he is always very happy-go-lappy. Because, as I keep saying, I'm pretty sure he thinks he's going to be the successor now to the Tribal Chief, now that Jay's out of the picture. Even though I keep saying, if Jimmy keeps losing, and also if Solo's been more loyal to Roman all this time, then why would Roman pick Solo over Jimmy? Even though right before Jimmy had turned, they were teasing the breakup with Solo and Roman. So that could factor into it, but who knows? But anyways, he talks trash and insults John Cena while the crowd chants for The Rock. Then Cena makes his way up to the ring, tries to clean house, until numbers get caught up to him, and they beat him down. Like I said, originally, if he didn't get sick, LA Knight was supposed to come out and save Cena. But since he was sick, he didn't. But I'm also hearing people say The Rock could be his partner, which, like I said, if they do that, again, save it for Survivor Series. And have them take on Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I also heard, though, hold on. I also heard, though, Randy Orton. Because apparently he was spotted outside the Performance Center recently. Which could make sense, because before Randy got hurt, he was feuding with the Bloodline. And again, oh God. He was really supposed to take on Roman Reigns at SummerSlam 2022, had he not got hurt, his back injury. So, There was reason for both of them. But now SmackDown, I thought it did its job. Gave it a B. Good show. What are your thoughts on SmackDown? Guys, your thoughts down in the comment section below. And as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe to more content to my channel. Follow me on Twitter at the Club with the Man 93. Also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club with the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your Sunday. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself.